Now let's look at the sleeve cuff. Pick up stitches from the edge stitches on both sides of the front and back pieces, then knit in rounds upwards. The new stitch techniques used include S2 Co. Please watch my demonstration. Start with the left cuff. Begin picking up stitches from the underarm position. 11 stitches are needed here at the underarm. First, pick up one stitch right at the middle sewing position. Insert the needle roughly between two strands. Pay attention, we are using straight needles for this part. Draw out the loop. Slightly adjust the loop size. This is the first stitch. Next, pick up 5 stitches from the left side of the underarm. So that makes a total of 6 stitches picked up at the underarm. Then proceed to pick up stitches along the side edges. The number of side stitches for both front and back pieces is identical. Just pick up the stitches evenly. After picking up roughly 1/3 of the total stitches, take out a second straight needle. Continue to pick up approximately another 1/3 of the stitch count. Once you finish picking up stitches on the front piece, check the stitch count first. Then pick up one more stitch at the junction between the two pieces. Next, pick up the stitches along the side of the back piece. Similarly, after reaching around 1/3 of the stitch count, use a third straight needle to pick up the remaining stitches. After completing the pickup of stitches, check the total stitch count. Make sure it's an even number of stitches. This completes the first round. Now, let's work on the second round. The first yarn loop on the left side of the yarn tail is the starting position for each round. For easy identification, you can place a stitch marker below this stitch as a mark. Then take out a fourth straight needle. Knit 1 stitch. Pay attention to slightly tighten the yarn tail at the first stitch position. Next, purl 1 stitch. Continue alternating 1 knit stitch and 1 purl stitch until you finish the straight needle. After completing, use this straight needle to continue knitting. Be mindful of the junction between each straight needle. Slightly tighten the yarn tail at these positions. Continue to finish this straight needle. After completing, move on to the loops on the third straight needle. Keep knitting until there is 1 loop left on the left needle. Reach the designated position. Leave the last stitch unknitted. This completes the second round. Next, start the third round. For the underarm position, you need to do the S2 quo. First, move the last unknitted stitch to the left needle. Then, simultaneously slip the first 2 stitches, without knitting it. Then knit 1 stitch. Next, place the 2 unworked stitches onto the left needle. This completes one S2 quo. Then follow the texture on the left side to work the 1x1 ribbing. Continue knitting until there is 1 loop left in this round. Pay attention to the junction of the straight needles. Gently pull to tighten the yarn tail. Reach the designated position. Similarly, do not work the last loop. This completes the third round. Now start the fourth round. First, move the last loop to the left needle. Then work S2 quo. Start by slipping the first 2 loops without working them. Then knit 1 stitch. Next, pass the 2 unworked loops over the left side loop. This completes the S2 Continue working the 1x1 ribbing by following the texture until there is only 1 loop position left in this round. This completes the 4th round. The 5th round. Begin by working S2 Then finish the rest of the round. This completes the 5th round. Continue using the same method. Complete the 6th and 7th rounds. Then work the 8th round. Start by working 1 S2 Then finish the round according to the texture pattern. Pay attention to working the last stitch of this round as well. This completes the 8th round. Now start the 9th round. Work the 1x1 ribbing for this round. This completes the 9th round. Next, we will bind off. Here, we use the 1x1 rib bind off method. You need to work the knit stitches as purls, and the purl stitches as knits while binding off. The first stitch is in the braid texture. Work 1 purl stitch. The second stitch is in the tile unit texture. Work 1 knit stitch. Then pass the previous stitch over the second stitch. This bind off 1 stitch. Continue with 1 purl stitch for the next knit stitch. Here, the texture below is braid, so work 1 purl stitch. Before you start, use your left hand to pinch the bottom of the loops on the right needle. Take the needle out. Then place the needle underneath the yarn. Insert it back into the loop. Work 1 purl stitch. Bind off 1 stitch. Continue with 1 knit stitch for the next purl stitch. Here it is the tile unit texture. Work 1 knit stitch. Before you knit, take the needle out. Place the needle above the yarn and insert it back into the loop. Work 1 knit stitch. Bind off 1 stitch. Always follow the rule to change the next stitch. And before you start, always change the position of the yarn by moving the right needle. Complete the bind off. Now there is only 1 loop left on the right needle. Simply enlarge the loop. Leave a tail of about 15 centimeters and cut off the yarn. Pass the yarn tail through the loop. Slightly tighten it. This completes the bind off. Next thread the reserved yarn tail into a sewing needle. Sew a few stitches to slightly join the beginning and ending. After completing, hide the yarn tail on the wrong side of the fabric. This completes 1 cuff. Use the same method for the other side of the cuff. Now let's look at the neckline. Pick up stitches around the edge of the front and back pieces. Then knit 1 by 1 ribbing in rounds upwards. Please watch my demonstration. Before picking up stitches, sew a few stitches slightly at the first row position of the shoulder parts on the front and back pieces. Here, slightly sew a few stitches. Then start picking up stitches from any shoulder position. The specific number of stitches is indicated on the chart. Just pick up the stitches evenly. You can skip at the boundary of both sides, or pick up 1 stitch on each side. Pay attention that the total number of stitches should be even numbers. After completing the first round of picking up stitches, for the remaining rounds, knit 1 by 1 ribbing without increasing or decreasing. Once completed, finish with a 1 by 1 ribbing bind off. Complete the neckline. Next, let's look at the decoration. It includes 2 leaves, 1 flower, and 1 decorative cord. Let's start with the leaves. There are 2 sizes, large and small. Both use the foundation chain method to start. Work in rounds counterclockwise from the starting chain. The larger leaf has several rows worked back and forth. Several crochet stitches will be applied. All of them are marked on the chart, so I won't list them one by one. Now, let me demonstrate the specific crocheting method. Let's start with the large leaf. Begin with the foundation chain. Pick up the yarn tail with your right hand. Wrap it around your left little finger. and thread it through between your middle finger and index finger. Then pinch the yarn tail with your thumb and middle finger. Take the crochet hook with your right hand, and move the hook between these 2 points. Place the hook underneath the yarn. Wrap the yarn counterclockwise. Use your left thumb and middle finger to pinch the crossing point of the loop. Place the hook on the left side of the yarn. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This slip knot does not count as a stitch. Slightly tighten, adjust the size of the loop. Now, start crocheting chain stitches. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. 1 chain stitch is now completed. This braid represents 1 stitch. Continue crocheting chain stitches. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. This is the 2nd stitch. Repeat this process. Continue crocheting the remaining chain stitches. Refer to the chart for the specific number of stitches. This completes the casting on. Now, move on to the first round. Make 1 beginning chain. Then, in the last chain stitch of the beginning chain, make 1 slip stitch. Means the second to last chain stitch position. Insert into the top half strand. In here. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through, and draw through all the loops on the hook. Slip stitch completed. This is the braid formed by the slip stitch. Next, make 1 single crochet. Insert into the top half strand of the left chain. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over. Draw through the 2 loops on the hook at once. 1 single crochet completed. We can see a V-shaped stitch on the right side. This is the corresponding stitch. Next, at the adjacent chain, make another single crochet. Similarly, insert into the top half strand. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. Draw through the 2 loops on the hook at once. The second single crochet is completed. Continue to finish the remaining single crochets here. After completing, start the half double crochet, yarn over, insert into the top half strand of the adjacent chain. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, draw through all 3 loops on the hook at once. A half double crochet is complete. Continue with half double crochets. Yarn over. Insert the hook. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Yarn over again, and draw through all 3 loops on the hook. The second half double crochet is done. Continue finishing the remaining half double crochets in this section. After completing them, start working the double crochets. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the top half strand of the adjacent chain. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull through the first 2 loops. 2 loops remain on the hook. Yarn over, draw through at once. 1 double crochet is now complete. Continue with double crochets. Yarn over, insert the hook into the chain stitch on the left side. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Now there are 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over again. Pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 2 more times. 1 time. 2 times. The second double crochet is now completed. Continue with 3 more double crochets. After completing them, the next stitch is a DC 2-in-1, which means make 2 double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2. A DC 2-in-1 is now completed, followed by 4 double crochets. Then, make another DC 2-in-1. Another DC 2-in-1 is now completed. Continue with 3 more double crochets. After completing them, the next stitch is a DC 2 tog. Start with 2 incomplete double crochets. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the next chain on the left. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. Draw through the first 2 loops. This is an incomplete double crochet. Now, the second one. Yarn over. Insert the hook into the next chain on the left. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over again. Draw through the first 2 loops. This completes the second incomplete double crochet. Now you have 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over. Draw through all 3 loops on the hook at once. That completes a DC 2 tog. Continue crocheting according to the chart until you have 3 chains left. When you reach this position, on these 3 chains, make 1 slip stitch in each. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through all loops on the hook at once. Continue to complete the remaining 2 stitches. Next, make a CH2 picket. Make 2 chains. Then pick up the slip stitch braid, the strand closest to you, and the last chain of the starting chain. Make 1 slip stitch. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through all loops on the hook at once. Slightly tighten. The CH2 picket is complete. Next, rotate the piece. You can see the chains on this side. Have 2 strands remaining here. Pick up these 2 strands and crochet. This means using the same insertion point for the stitches on this side. Start by making 4 slip stitches. Be mindful not to go through the last chain of the starting chain. After that, make 5 single crochets. Place the starting yarn tail above the hook. Weave in the ends as you go along. Once completed, the next stitch is a SC2-in-1, which means crocheting 2 single crochets into the same stitch. 1, 2. The SC2-in-1 is complete. Next, crochet the corresponding number of half double crochets and double crochets. After that, make 1 DC2-in-1. The next stitch is a treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert into the next stitch. Yarn over, draw the yarn through. Now there are 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over again. Draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. Once. Twice. 3 times. 1 treble crochet is now completed. Now, the second one. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Yarn over. Draw the yarn through. Then yarn over again. Pull through the first 2 loops. Repeat this 3 times. The second treble crochet is now completed. Continue and make 3 more treble crochets. After completing them, the next stitch is a TR2-in-1. That means making 2 treble crochets in the same position. One, 2. A TR2-in-1 is now complete. Continue to finish the remaining part of this round. After completing the last 2 slip stitches, insert the hook into the first slip stitch. These 2 strands here. Make 1 slip stitch to join. The joining slip stitch needs to be tightened. This completes the first round. Now move on to the second row. Start from the single crochet stitch on the left side. Please refer to the chart. Continue crocheting until you reach the stitch before the DC2 tog. Once you arrive at the correct position, work a DC2 tog. First, work 1 incomplete double crochet in each next 2 stitches on the left side. 1, 2. Then yarn over and draw through all the loops on the hook at once. The DC2 tog is now complete. Continue crocheting according to the chart until you reach the stitch before the SC2 tog. Once you arrive at the correct position, work at SC2 tog. First, work 2 incomplete single crochets. Insert the hook into the left stitch. Yarn over and draw through. This is an incomplete single crochet. Then work the second one, inserting the hook into the adjacent stitch. Yarn over and draw through. This completes the second one. Yarn over again and draw through all 3 loops on the hook. A SC2 tog is now completed. Next, work 2 single crochets and 6 slip stitches. After completing those, pick up any 2 strands from the picket stitch in the previous round and make 1 slip stitch. Then work a CH2 picket. First, make 2 chains. Then pick up the strand of the slip stitch braid closest to you. Insert the hook into the same entry position as the slip stitch again, and make 1 slip stitch. The CH2 picket is now complete. Continue on the braid formed by 4 slip stitches from the previous round, making 1 slip stitch. Then work 3 single crochets sequentially. After completing those, make 1 SC2 in 1. Finish this row. The last stitch is a SC2 tog. This completes the second row. Now, let's move on to third row. Make a beginning chain. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then skip the stitch from the SC2 tog. Work at SC2 tog in the next 2 single crochet stitches on the left. finish this row. This completes the third row. Secure with a chain stitch. Leave a 50 cm tail and break the yarn. The large leaf is completed. Refer to the chart. Finish crocheting the small leaves too. After completing the last stitch of the small leaf, insert the hook into the first single crochet stitch. Make one slip stitch to join. Pull to tighten. Then leave a 40 cm tail and break the yarn. The small leaf is completed. Now let's look at the flower. We will start with the foundation chain. Work back and forth along the foundation chain. The new stitch techniques used are marked on the chart. Please let me demonstrate the specific crochet method. Start with a chain stitch. After completing the foundation chain, work the first row, make one beginning chain, then start crocheting from the second chain from the hook. Begin crocheting from here. Continue crocheting until there are 3 chains left. Reach the designated position. The last stitch is a DC3 tog. Work an incomplete double crochet in each of the last 3 chains. One, 2, 3. Then yarn over, and draw through all loops on the hook at once. The DC3 tog is completed. This finishes the first row. Now, let's move on to the second row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Skip the stitch of the last DC3 tog from row 1. Start from the double crochet stitch on the left. Complete the second row. This completes the second row. Continue to the third row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then start crocheting from the last stitch of the previous row. Continue crocheting all the way down the stitches of the previous row. After completing, at the chain stitch on the left. Work 1 double crochet first. Then work 2 treble crochets. If you can't find the exact spot, pick up a few strands of yarn approximately. This completes the 3rd row. Move on to the 4th row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise, then start crocheting from the 2nd to last stitch of the previous row. Finish this row. The 4th row is now completed. Continue with the 5th row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then start crocheting from the last stitch of the previous row. Complete this row all the way down. The 5th row is now completed. Finish the 6th row. Move on to the 7th row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise, then complete the corresponding single crochets. After completing, chain 8. The 7th row is now completed. Continue to crochet the 8th row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then pick up the 2nd chain from the hook in the top half strand. Make 1 single crochet. Continue to complete this row. The 8th row is now completed. Next, move on to the 9th row. Chain 1 to begin. Turn the workpiece counterclockwise. Then start crocheting from the 2nd to last stitch of the previous row. First, make 1 single crochet and 4 half double crochets. The next stitch will be a HDC 2-in-1. That means crocheting 2 half double crochets in the same stitch. 1, 2. The HDC 2-in-1 is now completed. Continue to finish the remaining part of the row. This way, the 9th row is completed. Chain 1 to secure. Leave a 50 cm yarn tail, and cut the yarn. Next, take the starting yarn tail, and hide it along the texture on the wrong side of the fabric. This way, the flower is completed. Next, crochet the decorative cord, which is made by crocheting 2 strands together. Take out the corresponding color of yarn. Cut 2 lengths of about 8 meters each. Combine 2 strands of yarn together. Leave about 50 centimeters at the starting point for one of the strands. Begin with a chain stitch. Continue crocheting chain stitches. The number of chain stitches is not fixed. Crochet until you reach the desired length. Once you reach the required length, leave about 5 centimeters of one strand and cut it. Leave about 50 centimeters of the other strand and cut it. Then hide both short ends inside the fabric. This completes the decorative cord. Next, we will sew the decorations together. Start by sewing the leaves and flowers. After completing those, sew on the decorative cord. Place the small leaves on the left side, and the large leaves on the right side. Refer to the finished product picture, and determine the positions of the leaves and flowers first. The large leaves should slightly overlap the small leaves. Once you have determined the positions, secure them with pins first. Be careful when using pins. After securing, proceed with sewing. Start from the small leaves. Thread the previously left yarn tail into a sewing needle. Then pick up the strand on the front piece and sew them securely to the edge stitches of the leaves. Adjust as you sew to ensure the leaves lie flat. Finish this round completely. After sewing, hide the yarn tail inside the fabric. This completes the sewing of the small leaves. Continue with the large leaves and flowers, with the same method. Next, sew the decorative cord. Similarly, first arrange the positions roughly according to the finished product picture. Adjust and place them roughly. Use pins to secure the outline of the decorative cord as you go. You can refer to the finished product picture for the contour of the decorative cord. Alternatively, adjust based on your own preference. The end positions at the top of the cord needs to be closed. After securing it completely, use the yarn tails reserved at both ends of the cord for sewing. Pick up 1 or 2 strands from the wrong side of the cord. Sew it together with the strands of the front piece. Finish sewing. That concludes the explanation for the decorative part. Up to this point, the making method for this vest has been fully explained. If you have any questions during the process, don't hesitate to reach us via our customer service. Susan's family, supporting your handwork experience, sharing the joy of life. Thank you for watching. See you in the next episode.